Hi, this is Maysha with As Long as You're Breathing, and it's evening. I'm having hot tea this evening too. Sorry I missed mornings with Maysha, but I'm having a little bit of drama here. But we can't let drama get to us. What matters is how we handle the drama. How we handle the drama, well, that's how we manage to live in great big capital letters. All the time. As long as we're breathing.
As long as you're breathing, keep living. As long as you're breathing, keep living. As long as you're breathing, keep living. As long as you're breathing.
All right, everyone. Hello, hello. I don't know about, I can see a thread on this side. I don't know about where you're at, but where I'm at, it is raining and chilly. It's in the 40s, and that's like cold here. And so it's winter. And so I'm all bundled up and seeing threads that I couldn't see before they were on the camera, and it's all good. So I hope that you are having an amazing evening where you're at, and I hope that your Tuesday has been an amazing day where you actually chose Tuesday. I have a friend that calls it that. So I hope that's the case. As y'all know, this month, the video series that I'm running is about spiritual awakening or energetic awakening. Video 2 went up yesterday, and Diana Leader, we have a round table. That's a good bit of it. There's a round table group of us discussing different ways that we have experienced spiritual awakening or conscious awareness or energetic awakening. And so we each discuss the different aspects of it for ourselves to show others that it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. As a matter of fact, it's highly individualized. And Dinah Leader's show was posted yesterday. She was she's on the panel, and so she was the featured one yesterday in the episode that I aired yesterday. I do hope y'all will take the time and watch that. Her story is very interesting. She talks about her healing hands and not believing she had them until she's in the ER herself and needed to use them. And as a matter of fact, I had a headache this morning, and all the way from Canada, her healing hands took care of it. So it's a blessing to know people like that. But it's also a blessing when you find out, hey, I'm people like that. And that's the reason I want to talk to you all is we're all people like that. Every one of us. We all have gifts. We all have clair abilities. They are a different set of senses than the senses we're used to using. We're used to using our smelling, our tasting, our hearing, our seeing, our touching. Well, all of those have an enhanced version, a clairability, they're called clairabilities because it's clairvoyance, being able to see with the third eye. So you know when something's going to happen, or you can visualize and help manifest something happening. Clairaudient, so you can hear telepathically, or you can hear other dimensional beings. You can hear your guides. But it's not just about hearing, it's about understanding too. You see, we can all hear, those of us who are healthy, of course, but that doesn't mean we understand. So we have to choose to understand. And so it's kind of like selective deafness. Hello, good to have you. The women will say that sometimes about men, he's only deaf when he selects, when he chooses to be. It's selective. Joking, of course, but not. Well, that can be the case too. Whenever you have a clairability, is that because of your filters, because you want it to be a certain thing, you can be selective in how you hear these things. And there's so much to talk about with all the different clair abilities, clairsentience, claircognizance, and there's several others that I can never remember, but They all equate to our other senses. So these are like the extraordinary versions of them. And those come online when you go up in vibrational frequency. And the whole planet has gone up in vibrational frequency. And so over the past few years, we've been having more and more people become aware. That's what awakening is. Become aware of their enhanced senses and finding out that it's scientifically proven to be because we are made of energy. The planet's vibration is going up. We went from 3D all the way to 5D. And that's an astrological thing that had to do with universal law. It took the planet that long for space-time to spread out after the big bang of creating the universe for the planet to get to where it went up into that dimension. So all of that was universal law. There was no, okay, let's speed that up. And well, no, that would have changed everything in the whole universe. So of course we can't do that. But as this has been happening, more and more people are becoming more and more aware of having these gifts. You'll hear so many people now talk about being empaths, being able to feel other people's emotions. You'll hear about so many of the invisible illnesses that seem to be chronic pain in nature. Myself, my whole life, I lived with fibromyalgia. Since I was a child, I would wake up in the middle of the night crying and screaming in pain. And the best I could explain was it's a Charlie horse, but it wasn't a Charlie horse. The pain is similar, but it's not. But I can remember like being 2, trying to explain why I'm crying and carrying on, and that's as close as I could come to conveying it. So being born high vibrational, and many people were born over the last, well, I'm 56, so my generation and some before, some many since, born high vibrational to begin with. And we can find that out by going into your Akashic record and just asking what frequency, what's your vibrational frequency, what's your set point vibrational frequency. And so that happened at this particular moment in time because the planet was going to be going up in vibration. So if you put a population of energetic beings embodied or incarnate during that time, then the whole planet's vibration would go up because energy is a tapestry. The matrix that they talk about, that's a tapestry. Not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's the tapestry of everything. We can't unplug from the matrix because we'd be unplugging from existence, period. That's not what being part of the matrix is about at all. That's the tapestry of energy that we exist within. And so because high vibrational energy could now embody, our physical bodies had been advancing to the point that we could now hold more energy. And the planet was to the point it was going to be higher vibrational. So that energy embodied or incarnated, and more of the energy has been able to incarnate this time. Of whatever energetic being is incarnating, not all of its energy can incarnate. That's why we have to be able to transcend the mind and connect with our higher dimensionality, our guides. It's other dimensions of self. Now, we have guides that are other dimensional beings, that's true. But often you're just communicating with higher dimensions of yourself that don't actually embody, but they are still, they're higher. That energy connection remains. Okay. I know this is not taught a lot. Multidimensionality is not frequently taught this way, but I'm quite sure it's how it is. It's been channeled to me many times now and explained to me many times, and the model works. As a matter of fact, I was in a workshop this afternoon, and it was like I was looking at my notes for this, and I'm like, I'm going to have to change everything I'm saying because this workshop, there are people saying this stuff, and it's going to be like, oh, but she was at the workshop, then went online and said it all. But no, and I say it differently anyway. What this person was saying was, it is a time of heaven and earth being connected through the heart so that we can live high vibrational. And we have to embody that. That is another way of saying we have to be grounded. And the person did go on and say, and to do this, of course, we have to be grounded and stay centered. Well, exactly. We have to be grounded, in alignment, connected to source as well. All of that goes right up through all of our chakras. And we have to understand that we live from the heart. And yes, we are connecting heaven and earth through the heart. But all of that is, and we do have to be grounded and centered. And that embodiment is our incarnation. But we have to take sovereignty over that embodiment. And we have to communicate with all of that energy as, because we are the embodied part, but we can pull that energy down too. We can pull that energy down. Energy work is it leaves you very thirsty, that kind of thing, because taking more energy in it dehydrates you. So we're always joking about, all of us who keep our chocolate around. Well, I don't really know what it is and don't ask and kind of don't care because I love chocolate, but frequently I'll do a bunch of energy work and I hear, go eat some chocolate. So it's got to do with, I get hypoglycemic as part of it. And so I can't allow that. So, but, so yeah, we have to stay hydrated and we have to stay nourished and all of those things because we are embodying more of the energy that is the being. We have overflow. The being that is incarnate in us literally has overflow. All of it cannot incarnate. And so that is why we're connecting all the way up to source through our entire beingness, which we can then communicate with as one, living as one. But we, the embodied energy, are sovereign over this. And so it was very interesting to hear that. And then another said, I'm leading meditations and I'm teaching everyone in the meditations that we have to embody our emotions. Well, energy in motion, that's our emotions. Emotions is the frequency. The frequencies have been correlated with different emotions. And yes, we have to embody our energy in motion. That's true. But we also have to maintain sovereignty over it, which is when we were in denser energy, we weren't able to do. The mind was overcoming and the heart was not guiding. So we weren't living our stories, our lives, our stories, our way. And we weren't connected. But as the planet's vibration has gone up and more people have been born who are high vibrational, empathic, coming into their clairvoyant type gifts, all their clair abilities, that was to raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. You see, everything is one, it's a tapestry. And each one of us has a vibrational frequency that when we're plugged into it, the tapestry, well, it's like a symphony. Everybody's tuned up and the music is beautiful. Don't be tuned up though. Get out of your vibrational frequency where you said, this is the life I want. I'm going to come here for that life. When you unplug yourself from that, what creates butterfly effect, you're not in tune. Your frequency is off. But when we tune an instrument, we measure the vibrational frequency to tune an instrument. How many hertz? Like international standard is 440. So we all have to be in tune. So the symphony of the planet and the universe works. And so that is what we're all doing. And that's what we're saying when we talk about spiritual awakening or energetic awakening or an increased level of consciousness. It's as we are all naturally becoming more higher vibrational because the planet is going up. But more of that energy that embodies us, that energy in motion, that emotion, which wants to be incarnate to enjoy the tactile experience of physicality. Okay? The more of that energy can embody us, the higher vibrational we are, and the more aware we are. And so we start opening up to understanding, wow, my free will was the beautiful story I agreed to before I got here. The mind trying to protect me is tricking me, literally, out of doing what my heart is lighting me up to do, which is to live that story. So I have to transcend that, live as a whole being in touch with my control tower, as I call it, but the other dimensional aspects of self and source and the other dimensions around that want to help. So I can live as my heart remembers, as my past starts unfolding for me, my heart remembers it. I can get those intuitive hits, and I know what it is I'm supposed to do. I'm going to be healthy, happy, whole, and complete doing that, because that's what I came here to do. And me, healthy, happy, whole, and complete, doing what I came here to do, that's going to stabilize the symphony. I'm going to be in tune. That's going to be another string that's in tune in the orchestra. So that's going to help bring order to chaos. So that's what's going on right now. That is exactly what's going on. We're tuning up the orchestra, folks. And each one of you, your vibrational frequency, you have a tune set point, a frequency that you signed up for and said, this is what you can expect of me. That's the experience I want. And if you're not in that, then you create chaotic energy. The symphony doesn't sound good. Everything's out of tune. And the longer you're not in that, the more often you're not in that, the more butterfly effect there is, the worse out of tune we sound and look and are. And that's what has happened, is the mind was able to convince us that free will is when we make all of our decisions here, and something guiding us and telling us what to do and all of that stuff. And you saying the heart knows the story and all of that, that is not free will. Somebody's running the show other than me. I know. I'm the protector. That's when we are egocentric. Ego is a good thing. Egocentric is not. Egocentric is thinking it's all about you. Egocentric people are very good at putting up the boundaries and doing the self-care, but they stop there because it's all about them. Egotistical. But we have to transcend that and understand that the mind has a job. It is to protect us. It is programmable, and it has been learning. Some of the programs are bad, though, and that's part of the problem. We're having to transcend those. But it's also, whenever the heart gets lit up about something that the brain has not experienced yet, it has no programming for, it tries to stop us from doing it. We have to transcend that. We don't have to argue with it to do it, because the mind is egotistical. So all you have to do is make sure that it understands, listen, we were meant to do this. We're being robbed of it if we don't. Oh, we were meant to. Yeah, we were meant to. We're going to look good doing it too. There are going to be some people who talk at first, people in the cheap seats, but it won't take long until enough other people will see, wow, they really should have done that. They're amazing at that. That's turned out amazing. We're going to look amazing? Yeah, we're going to look amazing. Well, all right. And while the brain is kind of on board, that's when you take that first step. And then the brain's like, I don't know, this is feeling uncomfortable. And you tell it again. And we're not just going to look amazing, but we're going to be really successful doing this too. It's going to put us in a 1 + 1 = 3, an exponential relationship. And we're going to be very successful. Oh, we're going to be successful too. And while the brain is in, you take that next step. That's how we transcend the mind and make the mind understand, program it to, oh, wow, okay, I'm getting this now. When I get nervous, I don't need to be nervous, because we've done this enough times now. I can see we can trust the heart. The heart does know the story. And we can trust the control tower. They're not guiding us wrong so far. But I'm still going to speak up whenever I see things that are not safe. Good. That's your job. That is your job. And to learn things and remember things for me as we try to learn new information that we can also integrate into this existence. Yeah, I do that too, don't I? You do, and you do it so well too. Oh, I do it well. Mine likes to wear Batman cape with the pointed ears. I talk about it lighthearted, folks, but that's a good way to transcend the mind, is to show the mind all the good things that are going to come from it. And while the mind is focused on those and contemplating that, take a step, and then take the next step, and then take the next step. Now, that's what spiritual awakening and transcending is. And of course, we are ascending because we are going up in vibrational frequency, but we are also learning to ascend and be connected to all of us. You see, just as the universe is one, the part that is plucked off, that is this piece of energy, it doesn't stop here. It keeps going. And we are to function as a whole as well. And when we function as a whole, well, then we function correctly, the way we're designed to, the way we were always meant to. And we live the beautiful lives we wrote for ourselves. And everyone else does too. Yeah. And we get the happy ever after that we wrote for ourselves. Now, is it perfect? Is there not going to be some butterfly effect? Probably some. That's what the control towers are for, to guide you through it. Did we not write some things that are, not sure how that's going to turn out? And so we're going to have to see. And so we end up learning some things along the way, not being tested or punished, but literally just learning as the story unfolds, because we didn't micromanage it. We have set points along the way, checkpoints, set points. I'm supposed to be here at this time because they're going to be there at that time. And that checkpoint is essential for the vibrational alignment of everything. And if I'm not there, then butterfly effect happens, chaotic energy. And that person misses what they were supposed to get there. You see, that is our responsibility. That's the only thing we came here to do, is be that person we said we would be. That's it. And this is all what all this spiritual awakening talk is about. It is consciousness coming up to the fact that we're aware of it. Now, someone who is not aware of it yet, who's not at this level of consciousness, there's no hierarchy here. It doesn't mean we're smarter, better, any of those things. It just means we're at that level of consciousness and they're not yet. Like when one person went to college to study algebra and all the other maths, and somebody else went to college to study art. Different understandings of things, different levels of consciousness, but both highly educated. Now, the vibrational frequencies, we do talk about higher and lower, but that's just because they're numbers, and numbers do progress from low to high. So we're not talking about better, but the truth of the matter is the denser energies, or the lower numbers, are the ones we want to avoid. They're unforgiveness, which poisons us against ourselves. They are sadness, depression, worry, all the dense energies that weigh us down. And then there's the mid-range, which is happy, healthy, whole, which is kind of where we want to stay. We want to stay pretty much mid-range. But then there is the very high vibrational bliss, joy, unconditional love, which is the highest, of course, because that is what the tapestry of the universe is actually supposed to be tuned to. That's what our symphony is supposed to play in. Unconditional love means we don't hand anyone a list of conditions. The universe did not hand us a list of conditions. We co-wrote our story, co-created, and said, this is how I'm going to show up. This is what you can expect of me. And this is what we're to do in every relationship. Not hand a list of conditions. The universe didn't say, I want you to go fulfill these conditions. No. It's conscious awareness, and it's unconditional love. We said, we chose, and it's called co-creation, because everything we do affects some other aspect of creation. So We are never, any action we take alone, when the ego tells us, look what we did, we may have done it, but we do nothing that doesn't affect everything else. So we are always in relation. Everything is relative. So we are always in relation or relationship. So we are always co-creating, not creating on our own. We may have been the only one there. We may have let the mind guide us, and we may have not even been connected to the heart when we did it, and we may have created something. But just the very fact that it's relative and it affects everything else means we co-created, because the energy, the vibration of that reverberates out and affects everything. What somebody else co-created and somebody else co-created and somebody else co-created. So you co-created. You affected everything by your action. That's how important you are. That's how important you are. Every action you take affects everyone else. You're that important. And it's that important that you be in tune. So we're harmonious. A beautiful symphony. And when you're in tune, you're happy, healthy, whole, and complete, or as much so as we can be in a 3D or 5D existence. Because we do have physical bodies that do age, etc., etc. But our joy, our bliss, our being happy, being high vibrational, that comes from living that life that we said we were going to, being in that heart space and letting that life unfold, and us participating in it and being lit up along the way. Ooh, I love that. Yes, this is because when we are lit up like that, we send out that vibrational frequency and we attract that into us. Then we put out the vibrational frequency of gratitude for it, and that's how we keep it. Now, I used to really get tired of people talking about you've got to be in gratitude, because I'm thankful for everything and I'm very polite. I always say thank you. Well, today it was like, because I do understand the energy of gratitude is what we put out that keeps what we have coming to us. Because everything's energy. If you're not putting energy out to attract it in, then it's going to go somewhere else. So gratitude is that vibrational frequency that we put out to keep it coming back. Like when you go to work, you do the job so they keep giving you a paycheck. If they stop giving you a paycheck, don't show the gratitude, you stop going to work. And vice versa. If you stop doing the work, they stop giving you a paycheck. Same thing. But that's the difference between having gratitude for something and being thankful or saying thank you. I grew up in a house where everybody didn't say thank you and please and all of that. It was just kind of get me that and do this. And, so when I got around people who said thank you and please, wow, I thought I had arrived. I thought I was with the nicest people in the world. But I wasn't. I was with the politest people. And the politeness was a mask to show that they really had no gratitude at all. But they dressed themselves up with all the right words, the mask. And I didn't know any better because I'd been in a place that was even denser than that, in a way. My perception of it was that. So I thought, oh, wow, these are very gracious, kind people. No, they were just polite. And that was a mask. So actually, the denser energy of, or what I perceived as denser energy, because the words weren't there, was actually a more high vibrational energy, because they were thankful, but they just didn't feel the need to say it. I mean, give me this, give me that, but of course they were thankful for it, at least more so than the person wearing the mask that's saying please and thank you just to lure you in and manipulate you. So gratitude, true gratitude, is the energy being put back into something. When we truly have gratitude for something, we are holding space in our emotional bandwidth to put time and energy into it. That is our time management, is making sure that we are living the life we came here to live, and that we have edited that life to the point that we can do our self-care, which is keeping us in vibrational alignment, keeping us in tune so we can show up the way we're supposed to. And then the things that we are manifesting into our life at that time, we maintain the energetic bandwidth to have gratitude for it so it keeps coming in. And we have to edit our lives to do that because we have to let go of some things that either they're no longer what we want or we never really wanted them or all of that kind of stuff. So we have to edit our life. And that involves healing and progressing along your timeline, spiraling upward in vibrational frequency. And so we have to constantly be doing our energy management. We have to constantly be aware of our energy body and that this is how life works. And this is how we maneuver our lives. So when you have drama, like I had all night last night and all this morning over being hacked on a different social media platform and all kinds of stuff happening, what vibrational frequency do I want to be in? How do I want to feel? What do I want to be? What do I want to experience? Well, I want to feel at peace. I want to feel neutral. I want to have a good day. I want to be in a good place. I want to experience some productivity. I want to experience, well, this happens, but I maintain those vibrational frequencies in spite of it. Now, did I have a moment or two where my vibration dropped and I was frustrated? And sure. And we don't deny that. That's spiritual bypassing when we say, oh, don't feel bad about something. No, it's frustrating. And I sank into that vibration for just a little bit. But my energy management is, do I want to live that way? Do I want to get in that vibration and keep putting that out? Because if I'm in that vibration of frustration, then that's the energy I'm putting out. And whatever we're putting out is what we're going to attract back in. This situation will just be prolonged if I stay in that energy. So no, I refuse to be in that energy. Back up to where I want to be. I choose. I am sovereign over self. And I choose to be in the vibrational frequency of not frustrated, not flustered, not any of those things. Just taking care of it from a neutral space so I don't attract it more and more of it and draw it out longer and longer. And then when I do that, whatever energetically is causing all of that, higher dimensionally, I also gave my higher dimensions, my guides, source, etc. And you have permission to help me with this up there. So they're handling the high vibrational part of it, the energetic part up there that caused it all to happen. I don't even want to know what caused it. I don't need to. It's not going to do any good. There's nothing I can do about it. That would be a waste of my energy and potentially could bring me back down. So I don't need to know. Let them handle that. And I'll be in my beingness. I'll be being healthy, happy, whole, and complete. I still have to do the things that I have to do. I have to contact the bank. I have to do this. But all the stuff I really can't control, well, I'll leave it to the people who can. The energy that's higher dimensional than me. We work as a team. We are one to get everything tuned back up. So I stay in vibrational frequency that I'm supposed to be in. And this is what spiritual awakening and understanding that we are energy and energy management is all about. It's about living this way and making space to do your physical self-care, exercising, eating right, all of those things so that we stay healthy. But many of our health problems exist because we're not in vibrational alignment and we have energy that is stuck. Remember, we are emotional beings, energy in motion. When we get stuck someplace, when the mind says, no, we're not budging, we're afraid, until we transcend that and say, no, come on, we're going. This is our next place. We're going to look good doing it. Until we move that energy, it affects our health. So when I talked about all the fight, flight, and freeze people, the chronic pain, invisible illness people, that is what much of the problem is. They are high vibrational beings who were born very empathic, very open to all of this, all of their clairs open to being sensitive to all the other energies around them, and didn't know they were in energetic bodies, and didn't know what to do to stop feeling all everybody else's energies, to not have their fight, flight, or freeze knob turned wide open, overly sensitive to things, easily get their feelings hurt. This is ways we've been described. Don't do well if there's a lot of traffic, don't do well in a lot of people, don't do easily overloaded, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, high vibrational, all of our clair abilities coming online or online, highly empathic, and the knob turned wide open, and oblivious to the fact that we're in energetic bodies and we have to do energy management to slow down the parasympathetic nervous system, dial that knob down, and not have stuck energy and be in pain because we're doing fight, flight, or freeze, which is a reflex response of protection, an automatic reflex response for protection from the protection dimension, the brain, and the nervous system attached to the brain, to protect us when we are overwhelmed. And the energy management of that is to know to go to the breath and to slow the breathing down. That slows the parasympathetic down. To know how to manage, to know that you're this to begin with, so you know how to manage, how to manage your energy. That we are sovereign over ourselves, and that societal programming is not what we do. And that we are truly free. There's no punishment if we get something wrong. We're just out of vibrational frequency, and we're not going to have the things we want. Now, there's cause and effect here. If you rob a bank, you go to jail. But the universe itself does not punish and isn't going to make you live a harder life next time because you did it. That has nothing to do with it. But you did put out energy that was dense, that was disruptive, that was chaotic. And therefore, that's what you're going to continue attracting into your life until you come out of that dense energy. That has nothing to do with you being punished. It's universal law. You see, that's what all of this is. We need to be in the vibrational frequency we said we would be. So universal law, which is always in action, universal order, the math, the sacred geometry of everything. It's not just being maintained chaotically, but it's actually it's all adding up. The spreadsheet's adding up, and things are back in order. And we get to write beautiful lives and do this. And we're awakening to that. And we're going to use our clair abilities to live this oneness in self, put out the energy we said we would, attract back to us the energy we said we would, keep moving along our timelines, be in vibrational frequency tuned up. So we're going to sound amazing whenever we're played, whenever we're going down our timeline, but we're also going to help make the whole orchestra sound amazing. That's what spiritual awakening is all about. But as I told you, not everyone is there yet. So because of that, we are experiencing a lot of butterfly effect. And right now, we are at a vibrational frequency that's higher than we've been before. And we are, by our actions, by the energy we put out, by the words we say, because sound is a vibrational frequency, by the words we say and the actions we take, the emotions. Actions are always based on emotion. We react. So by the reactions we are having, we are putting energy out and we are getting energy in. That means we are manifesting. So the issue is we manifest quickly now. So we have to be very careful of what we're saying and what we're doing. You see, if we manifest, if we talk chaotic stuff, low vibrational stuff, if we say we're going to have trouble with a certain social media platform, we put ourselves in vibrational frequency to have trouble with that certain social media platform. One learns. One historically had trouble. One is out of that energy. Lesson learned. But if you keep saying, I have trouble with that social media platform, that's what you attract back in, is more trouble on that social media platform. So you don't say those things. I was channeled to me by some very high vibrational beings that are telepathic. And they were not, I was not getting clairaudient the way normally. My clairaudience is usually, I hear just like somebody's right here talking to me. I've always heard my thoughts as voices talking. I didn't know that my thoughts were, much of it was other dimensional aspects of myself talking to me. I thought everybody's thoughts had a different voice. I was clairaudient. Well, a while back, I went through a period where it wasn't like somebody was talking to me, but yet I could hear, almost like when you're reading silently to yourself, similar to that, only it wasn't my reading voice, it was still the different voices. And I'm like, why are you all doing this? And they're like, it's telepathy. And I'm like, well, I get that because I have it with someone else, and a few someones actually. So I understand. I said, but why? Why are we doing this? And they said, well, we want you, one, to develop the ability even more. And two, we want you to do it because, like your own Bible says, God said, when we speak, when we are high vibrational and co-creators, and we all are those things, we are co-creators, and we're getting higher and higher vibrational all the time. When we speak something, we put the vibrational frequency of that out. Therefore, that is what we are creating. So they use telepathy instead of actually speaking. I know people who have crossed over. The comments will be, what we miss most is using our voice, because we don't use our voice. We use telepathy. And I'm like, why? This is why. You're at a vibrational frequency where if you say the wrong thing, that's what you create. So you just think it. And you make sure that you don't let yourself dip into the lower vibrational energies or emotions that's going to go ahead and create it, because giving off the emotions creates it too, because that's the vibrational frequency we're in. We may never say we're depressed, but if our actions show that we are, then that is the vibration we're giving off, and we will pull in more depressing things. Well, speaking something we tend to do quickly without thinking, and that sends it out immediately. Feeling it takes a little longer to integrate that, and for those bandwidths to go out a little longer, not a lot, but a little. So instead of talking out loud, they use telepathy. And I go, well, I'm a singer. I don't like this. That was the ego. I'm a singer. I don't like this. And they're like, well, you don't have to do it all the time. And we have music. We like singing too. But so yeah. But because we have all this butterfly effect going on, and because not everyone is high vibrational and plugged into their exact frequency, and those of us who are spiritually awake and talk about all of this, we're not claiming to be perfect people, and not saying we're plugged in all the time perfectly and labeling anyone who isn't as lesser than us. As I explained earlier, you're just as equal. We just have an awareness of something that you don't have an awareness of yet. It doesn't make us better. It doesn't make us special. It just means we're at a different level of consciousness. That's all it means. And you're going to get there too, because you're on the planet. It's going to happen. So there's no reason to label, and there's no reason to have hurt feelings or any of those things. We use a relationship container, energetic management again, energy management again. And we don't have time to get into that, but I've taught it extensively. I've taught a lot of this extensively, but I'm going from start to finish here, kind of, sort of, to point out to you why right now you may be experiencing some of this starting to happen to you. You may be starting to hear your guides, and you're not telling anyone because they're going to think you're crazy. I had a schizophrenic son. When I realized that I was clairaudient, outing myself as clairaudient, there was no question I had to do that. Because what about all the other people who were experiencing clairaudience and starting to realize it, who also had mental illness in their family? And so they weren't sure if it's clairaudient or if they need to go get on medication or if they just need to keep their mouth shut about it. So there was no choice but speak out. And so I did. And I'm quite positive I'm not schizophrenic, but I am clairaudient and claircognizant and clairvoyant and all those things. But I know that I know that I know. And I'm confident of it. And I want others who are wakening up to these, coming up into the vibrational frequency of awareness of these things, where these things are activating. I want them to have a safe space and to know what's happening to them. You see, we, the ones who have already done this, we came through this not knowing we were energetic beings, not knowing what energy management was. Nobody here had been doing it. But now you have a whole group of us who we've been doing it for a while now. And we want to help you do it. We want to help you understand that if it's like, okay, I'm open to my guidance, I'm listening to them, and it seems like they're telling me, go do this, no, go do that, no, go do this. And I feel like I'm going all the time in different directions. No, energy is shifting rapidly now. People are just speaking things and bringing the energy in. Butterfly effect is happening. We have chaos going on. And because of this chaos going on, world events have escalated. There are energies that are aware and don't want us to change and become these people because they profit from us not being these people. And they're aware and they want us to stay in those energies so they continue to profit from it. So that causes our planetary collective, the human collective consciousness, to be chaotic. So as you're awakening to your senses, you may be feeling the human collective chaos. If there's a bombing somewhere, the energy of the fear of that, the upset of that reverberates through the human collective consciousness. If you don't know how to have your energetic field intact so you don't let that energy in, you could be sitting at your desk and all of a sudden be very anxious and have no idea why. What's going on with the collective consciousness? And you're tuned into that and you're experiencing it. So these reverberations are causing the guides to have to course correct us frequently. Now, I'm not handling that well sometimes. I'm choosing to handle it well, though. I'm choosing to stay in the vibrational frequency of handling it well. But I'm a divine masculine energy often. I have a lot of divine masculine energy. I have to constantly be pulled to the left, to the divine feminine energy. Divine feminine energy flows more. Divine masculine energy is more about, I got my checklist, going to get it done. I've got a plan. I've got to, et cetera, et cetera. And see, we have to flow right now because we can have all the plans we want. If everybody else isn't doing what they're supposed to do, the plans don't happen. There's chaotic energy. So if we are attached to an outcome, or if we're attached to the plan has got to go exactly this way, it's not going to. And unless we are acceptance of that and trusting the universe, our higher selves, to guide us through it, unless we give them permission to, we don't tell them, do it exactly this way. We say, this is what my heart desires. This is what my heart has lit up and it's telling me. This is my heart's desire. This is what my heart knows the story is. So, but this or better. Then we have given them permission because we are sovereign. The embodied energy is sovereign. So that energy has to give the others permission to do something. Now they can tell us what they're seeing, but that doesn't mean we listen. The mind will keep us from listening often. Nope, we're not doing that. We did that once before and that didn't turn out well. Shh, we were at a different level of consciousness. Oh, I know this one. Oh, this program's coming online. When we're at a different level of consciousness, that means we know more than we did before. So we're not going to have the same problem this time. Exactly. That's it. And while the mind is on board with it, you take your first steps and you do it. Transcend the mind. So you live an ascended life. You are transversing the energy from heaven to earth, which is you. That energy is coming right down into you, and part of it is embodied. But there are a lot of things shifting. So those of us who are divine masculine by nature, and we like to have a plan, and we like for it to go the way we expect it to, and we like to know what's going to happen, it's a little uncomfortable right now. Life has always been this way. It's just everything is vibrating faster. So it really is happening faster. And we have to be very careful the energies we speak, the energy we put out. So we have to choose our words. Somebody who does what they do by talking, I can talk myself into a mess really quickly. Let me get depressed and go to talking. Boy, the energy I have coming at me. Let me choose to stay in depression. Maybe I isolate myself and I don't tell anyone, but I stay in that depression. I stay in that frustration. I stay in that whatever. Well, I'm still just attracting it in. So we have to be consciously aware and then make conscious choices to not be in that vibration, but to be in the higher vibration we know we should be in. And so instead of trying to micromanage things that we can micromanage till the cows come home, if everybody else is not doing their part, if everybody else isn't plugged in, it may not go exactly according to plan. So I'll do what I know to do. I'll do the parts I can do. I'll do what I can do. In my human beingness, I'm going to be, I'm going to live, I'm going to do. But the part I can't, this or better. And then I have to be open to that guidance and follow it. But I also have to be sovereign over self and doing my daily energy management, which is, what do I want to be? What do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? Okay, do I have the energetic bandwidth for that? Can I be grateful for all of that so I don't lose it once I attract it in? Hold on, I really can't. I've already got this, and this going on. Well, you really don't like doing that anymore. You do that because your mom and dad did it and everybody else did in your family, and you really have never liked doing it. Oh yeah, that's societal programming. I can let that go. Well, the family's going to be pissed. That's okay. They'll get over it. I'll be nice about it, but no, I'm choosing sovereignty over self. I need that energetic bandwidth. I don't have to do what family expectations were. This is my life. Well, and then there's this other thing you do. You do that because, well, you went to school for that for years, and you have a degree in it, and you're making a whole lot of money at it, and well, you're expected to stay at it another 10 years. Well, no, because the energetic bandwidth it's taking, it's not positive energy loops for me. There's all kinds of stuff draining my energy from there. And I'm ready to go do this because my heart is being lit up that I'm supposed to do this now. Yeah, but we can't do that because, well, what are people going to say? You're going to be president of the company if you stay another year, another 6 months. If you're going to be president of the company, what are people going to say? What are people going to say with you making less money when you were making all of this money? Well, it doesn't matter what people say. That's societal programming. That's people in the cheap seats dictating what our life is going to be. Now, you do this, of course, responsibly. Do you have enough money saved up to go to a lesser paying job? Are there things you can edit from your life so you can go to this lesser paying job that's going to light you up? So we have to do things responsibly. But we make the energetic bandwidth to start working toward that. We edit our life so that we can do that. So that's editing our life and healing from our past traumas, calling our energy back to ourselves. All of these things is how we live our heart's desire. Now, the energy we are currently in is Piscean. I did a whole video on it. It's Pisces energy. This is all this month. And that is a watery, dreamy energy that allows us to envision our heart's desires. Our emotions are going to be more surface during this energy that we're in, this Piscean energy that we're in. But that is so we can be more in tune with the heart's desire. Those of you who have clairabilities that are online, your clairabilities are going to be really, I mean, the clairaudience may be just going left and right. The claircognizance, you may be getting downloads like crazy. Your third eye may be, if you can control that, by the way, with intent. It's yours to control. You're sovereign. So you can say, thank you very much, but the physical me is tired and wants a break, and you'll get the break. But if you're not used to this, and all of a sudden now, since this month has started, since we've gotten into that energy, all of a sudden all these things seem to be like happening all the time. Well, when we get into the next month, the energy is not the same. So if all that slows down, no, you didn't lose your gifts, and you can still access them. You have to access them with intent. But we have certain times, certain energies where they're just like the knob is wide open on them. And so you have to know then that not everything that you get is what you do. You have to be doing your energy management and know what it is that's right for you and your sovereignty, what fits your energetic bandwidth, etc., etc., etc. What's lighting your heart space up. You see, we can get lit up in the heart space and put out energy for something, and then that vibrational frequency is out there. So other things that match that frequency will start coming in too. But we have to know, hold on, that one's not mine. It's shiny thing. Ooh, I like it. And what we tend to do then is, I'll take that one too. But then we don't have enough energetic bandwidth for that. So we have to know what it is we are manifesting, what we are looking for. So we take that energy and we work with that energy. We put gratitude into that. So we keep attracting it to us until we move down our timeline and it doesn't light us up anymore. Our heart is telling us that was a season and it's past. Oh, well, we liked doing it. We did. We're going to like doing this more. Oh, yeah, I do like that. Okay, well, I'm going to redistribute my energy. I'm not letting that go entirely. I like those people, so I'm going to stay friends with them. I'm just going to explain to them that I'm going to be putting more time into this now. And so not to think anything about it. I'm not mad or not taking my marbles and going home. I've just got an energetic shift that I am choosing in my sovereignty to make. See how easy discussion with friends get when we use energy management? It's not, listen, y'all are doing that and I don't like it anymore. And so y'all just do that if you want to, but I'm going to go. No, we don't put it that way. We explain, I've had an energetic shift. So I'm going to have to redistribute my energy so I can do this. It's been great. I've loved this experience. I'll stay in touch. You stay in touch. But I'm redistributing my energy now. And see, there are no labels there. There's no, I'm moving on to something that's so much better than what y'all are doing, or I'm so bored with that now, or any of those things that sound, none of that. It's energetic. It's all energy management. And when you use energy management to do your physical self-care, well, then that's a whole other ball of wax. When you use energy management for that, you can actually enjoy what you're doing. And if you don't enjoy going to the gym, then get rid of the gym membership and don't go. Replace it with what lights you up. But everybody's got a gym membership. They expect to see me. If I'm not there, they're going to think I'm not doing my exercise. And I've got to do that in front of people so they know. No, you don't. They're going to know you're exercising by looking at you. And the truth of the matter is, you doing it for them is the wrong reason to do it anyway. Because if they're going to talk about you about that, they're going to talk about you about something else. Are you going to live your whole life to suit those people? Well, I hadn't thought about it that way. And while the brain is on that, you take your first step and you decide, what is it that lights me up? Oh, wow, I love to swim. There's a pool at that place. Okay, I'll take a membership there. And the brain's like, oh, people will see us there. And see, the brain's happy. So you've transcended the brain and problem solved. Or maybe you leave the gym altogether and you go to doing something at your own home because you own all the equipment anyway. And you did that because you didn't like the 30-minute commute, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or maybe you do the 30-minute commute because your socialization is at the gym and you actually enjoy the gym, in which case, keep the gym and change something else in your life so you have the energetic bandwidth to add other things. We have to keep editing our life. This is energy management. And when we do this, but we make sure that our physical self-care actually lights us up and we enjoy it, then we actually do it. So we are physically healthy as well. I'm headed to an hour here. Let's see, what else is here? I talked about the power of words. I talk about heart's desire, dreaming big, feeling the collective energy. I think I've covered everything. No, I didn't. This is the other reason why we have to be on top of our energy. We are a people who distract ourselves because we are uncomfortable with managing our energetic bodies. That means we have to go within and listen to our heart space, and the mind doesn't want us to do that. So the mind likes for us to be distracted and ignore all of that. I'll entertain you. You don't need to do all that stuff. That may get us in trouble. Who knows what we'll find in there? There's some dark stuff in there that we don't want to face. Some old stuff that we've buried that's trapped energy that is causing you to not be healthy, by the way. Either mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It is not. Energy is never meant to be trapped. It is always in motion. So it's trapped energy. And to manage the fact that you are coming into this higher vibrational frequency, you're going to have to release all of that trapped energy so you can manage all of this that's going to be going on in these higher vibrational frequencies. We have to learn to do this energy management. So we stop distracting ourselves and we start doing transformational things that light us up. So I'm not saying it's wrong to watch television or play video games, but don't do things just for distraction so you don't go within and figure out who you are and start living from your heart space and start transcending the mind and start clearing up the generational programming, the societal programming, the things that are keeping your energy stuck. So instead of escapism, which Piscean energy, Neptune energy, which we have going on right now, there it's about dreaminess, which is kind of escapism. So instead of escaping from what's happening, because you can't, you're part of this tapestry, you can't escape it. You're just going to keep yourself in denser energy and be calling denser energy into your life. So instead of trying to escape it and distracting yourself, don't use escapism to escape from. Escape to. The way you raise your vibrational frequency here and the way you get in touch with your heart space and the way you deal with this is do a transformational recreation instead of a distraction recreation. Find some way to go within and admit to yourself what really lights you up, to get to know yourself. Walking, running, swimming, artwork, playing music, reading books, all of those things help us go within because we are present in the moment to do those things and then drop into the heart space. What do I want to feel? What do I want to be? What do I want to experience? And then you do the energy work, which is editing your life, transmuting lower vibrational energies, bringing them up to higher vibrational energies, calling that energy back to you so you have it now to live the life you want to live. Don't escape from, because you can't. You're just staying in dense energy and you're still here, but you're still in the muck. Escape to. Recreate in a way that you can do transformative work. That's why I do so many meditations for people, because people enjoy just sitting in the calm and calming down and then just listening. And by just listening, they can start reprogramming and get all of this online and going, and they can raise their vibration and start attracting in what they really want, and they can ground that so they stay in that vibrational frequency and it keeps coming in, and it's transformational. Now, I'm not saying you have to take every minute and do this, but be very aware of what you're doing for your recreation, because the energy you're putting in, whatever you're putting in, that is what you become, because that's the energy you put back out. Listen, I grew up singing country music, folks. You listen to some of that long enough and your energy starts dropping down because there's a lot of sadness to it. Yeah, but that song is so beautiful. It is beautiful. But if your energy stays down there, the next thing you know, your vibration has dropped. So listen to the country music that's not all sad. And as a musician, the last book I was in, I wrote about the fact that we need to be cognizantly aware of this, and we need to be writing music because it is the universal language. Everybody's got an earbud in these days. Everybody loves music, and music is sound vibration. Music is a way to heal. So let's make it transformational music. Let's make it about healing. Let's make it high vibrational. I don't mean every song has to be that, but let's have a whole lot of it there. As a musician, as a performer, I don't want to perform this stuff. I purged myself of it writing sad stuff. Why in the world would I want to sing it every night and remind myself of it and get back in that energy and then have to purge it again to get out of that energy? Plus, I put all those words out there, all that emotion out into the universe, and now I'm pulling that back to me. Talk about a mess. Sing about your spouse cheating on you all the time. That's exactly what you're putting out to the universe. Hold on, I'm just singing a song. It's energy. The universe doesn't know that. It is conscious awareness, but it can't micromanage universal law. It can't shift universal law. And universal law is you just put out energy that was dense, low vibrational, and so that's going to come back toward you. There's a reason why people who have lived lives singing that kind of music or acting in those kind of movies all the time, playing those kind of roles, writing those kind of books, etc., had such dramatic, chaotic lives. They were manifesting them every time they went on stage. They created beautiful stuff. We enjoyed it, but we weren't living it day in and day out. They were every time they performed it. Me, I've been performing cheating songs, beer drinking songs, all of that stuff since I was a little girl. I was writing it as a child. Talk about manifesting some stuff. And I'm not a prude and I'm not a teetotaler. I'm none of those things. It's not about the morality of it. But there are many things that I made up my mind to never be a part of. And yet I was constantly manifesting it being all around me. So that kept me in chaos. And fibromyalgia, my fight, flight, and freeze was on. Talk about being able to manifest people that would cheat on you. I was an expert at it, folks, because I was singing this stuff all the time. So that's what I was putting out, whether I was living it or not. I didn't have to not live that way to not be putting the energy out, because I was writing and singing this stuff. So we have to, as musicians, as artists, be very careful. And the thing is, in this Neptunian energy that we're in, and we're going to be in for a good while, as everybody is spiritually awakening, that's dreamy energy, where the arts are what you can use to get a hold of people and get them to understand what is happening to them and to help them heal. They're going to be turning to the arts. So we need to be very aware as artists what we're putting out there. Again, I'm not saying never sing another sad song. I'm not labeling anyone as having done something bad. I did it for years, and I'm not labeling myself. I was damn good at it. I made a lot of people enjoy it because they liked that kind of music and they didn't realize it was keeping them sad, and so they were good with it. But now I'm at a level of consciousness I know. So no, I'm not going to write a bunch of sad. Now, do I sing it occasionally? I'll sing a sad song in the middle of like 4 or 5 very upbeat ones. Will I sing a cheating song? I'll sing one in the middle of 4 or 5 songs that is about so much positive stuff you couldn't imagine. I'm not going to put that energy out and stay in that energy. I'm manifesting that life for myself. And the people who are listening to it, I'm manifesting it for them too. We have to be very responsible in what we're writing and what we're creating in movies and what we're creating in our artwork and what we're creating. We don't want to create things that are going to keep people in denser energies. The very energies they're releasing, we're going to re-poison them with when they come see us. This is a major responsibility we have, and one that we need to understand, because all the people that are going to be awakening, and we're about ready to have another big round of that, because that's what the energy, the astrological energy shows. That's why I've been doing this series in March, because April we're going to see a surge of awakening. And these people are going to need to know this information. And they're going to need people who are brave enough to come forward and say, yeah, this is what's going on with you. This is what's happening, and explain it to them. And there are many, many, many of us. And we all say it a little differently based on our level of consciousness. We all do things a little differently based on who we are and how our heart space is lit up and how we're being guided. And we attract to us the audience that we are here to help. Plugged into our vibrational frequency, we will help the ones we're meant to help. And if it's one, that's okay. Because the reverberation of that means it's going to help many people. If it's 100 people, that's great. The reverberation from that is going to exponentially help. But it's okay if it's just one. And if you're like, well, I'm starting to feel this, but I don't feel like I have a mission like that. My heart space isn't saying that. You know what your mission is? To be the one and only you. Whatever vibration frequency you are supposed to be at, whatever life you are supposed to live. Maybe you don't have a mission to teach this stuff and to tell the world about it and to explain it. Good. You've got something else you're supposed to do. Maybe you're supposed to make the most beautiful gardens in the world, or paint the most beautiful paintings, or maybe you're just supposed to be the best mom in the world to the next kid that is going to be the one that leads the way. And so your child is going to be the one that is actually out in the world. Whatever it is that lights you up and you're in the vibrational frequency you're supposed to be in, you are doing your job. And you are just as valuable as somebody who is doing what I'm doing. I am not any more valuable than the next person. Just existing, just being who we came here to be in our vibrational frequency we said we would be, is the greatest gift we can give humanity. And we all have that gift equally to give. All of us. You may happen to just be at the restaurant that I walk into on one of the lowest days of my lives. And you're kind to me. And that pulls my vibrational frequency up. So I go ahead and I'm in vibrational frequency where I'm supposed to be. And I show up the rest of the day and do the things I'm supposed to do. And I reach 5 or 10 people that day. The butterfly effect, because you were there and you were kind to me. So no, if you don't have a mission in all of this, if you don't have your heart lighting up saying, I'm supposed to do this, this, and this is going to help bring the world to order, you're just as important. And whatever it is that's in your heart space that you're supposed to do, just as important. There are no labels of one thing is more important than the other, because every peg being in place, every string being in tune, every part of the orchestra being at the right frequency is required for the whole orchestra to sound amazing. Yeah, that's how all of this works. Everyone is just as important as the next one. And everyone needs to have their happy ever after, whatever it was they wrote. Everyone needs to be living their heart's desires. And you should want them to. That's the vibrational frequency you want to put out. Because this is what we do. What we want for ourselves, how we want other people to treat us. First, our self-care is our energetic self-care. Not just our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. All of that is wrapped up in the energetics of it. Our energetic self-care is to treat ourselves exactly that way. Well, I'd want to be treated this way, and I'd want to be treated that way, and I would want people to do, I'd want them to respect me this way. Okay, treat yourself with all of those big high vibrational things you just said, but you cannot stop egotistically there and say, okay, me and mine, I'm taking care of that. No. Or all you're going to attract to you are other people who have got boundaries up and they're doing the same thing. It's about them. What you have to do is you have to then put that energy out and treat everyone else that way, mutual respect. And then you attract that energy back into you. And we continue to raise the planet's vibration that way. You want the next person to be treated with just the same high vibrational energy, respect that you want. And that's what you want to put out. You cannot isolate yourself and just pull energy into yourself, then you are becoming a drain. You are draining other people's energy when you don't put out what it is you want yourself. You want to be loved, you want people to be kind to you, but you don't want to put any of that out. Well, I get hurt when I do it. Okay, you were a different level of consciousness then. The people who hurt you were in a different level of consciousness then. Well, I've looked, they're all still in that same level of consciousness. Well, then that means it's time to edit your life and societal programming be damned. Move on from that. Whatever reason you're there, well, it's my family. Okay. Send them a Christmas card at Christmas. If it's toxic for you, it's toxic for you. If it's pulling you out of your vibrational frequency, or maybe you just redistribute the energy and you don't spend as much time there. And you do spend time with the people and the places doing the things that actually light you up and put you in vibrational frequency. Really? We want to tell people to do that? Yeah, that's what we do. And look how much healthier and happier and whole and complete we are. Yeah, it works, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So we're going to keep talking because this is what we do. Bear in a China shop, folks. They picked the right person for this particular job because I've never really cared if it was what society thought should happen or not. What I did care about was how I felt here, my own personal integrity, the integrity of my energy field. But I didn't know I was talking or thinking in terms of energy management because I didn't know. And now I do know. And I know that one of the things I'm supposed to do is share it with people. The beauty of having our stories written, though, we have many gifts and talents. And so maybe we are supposed to be right here at this point in time, and maybe we are supposed to be doing a certain thing. We are. But we have all kinds of leeway in the middle there to this gift really lit me up, and I excelled at it more than we could have foreseen. And so I want to do that a lot too. I'm still a singer, songwriter, musician, and I can't tell you which one of these things I like better. There are many other things I enjoy doing. Does this light me up? Do I love it? Do I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do? Absolutely. But if tomorrow the universe said, it's time to zig, okay. I can enjoy my other gifts too. And I know the universe will use them in some way to do this, in some way. Because that's how I'm wired and designed. That is my frequency. Life is a beautiful tapestry. We're here to create a beautiful symphony. The matrix is an energetic symphony. And you being in tune is essential for oneness, for the whole symphony, for the orchestra to create the beautiful music it's supposed to. We're getting ready to be in a time where people are going to be turning to the arts. It's going to be like a renaissance. And people are going to be turning to those things to heal and understand all of this. There's music for meditations. There are movies being put out. And there have been movies put out to speak against all of this too, to try to keep you in denser vibrational energies so you don't embrace this, because a lot of people make a lot of money off people being in dense energy and not accepting this. But the more and more people who awake, the planet gets at a tipping point. And there, instead of having less people aware of this and more people not, we'll get to where there's more people who know it and less people who don't. And that raises the whole vibration of the planet. And then the energy we're putting out is that high vibrational energy. And those people who are trying to maintain dense energy will not be able to do so. Universal law. It's energy. The vibration will be too high. It won't be resonant energy. It won't be compatible energy. It won't be attracted in. It won't be able to stay in. It's not how protons, electrons, and neutrons work. If it's not the right vibration, if it's not the right frequency, if it's not the right number, well, it goes off somewhere else and forms something else. That's how all that works. If y'all remember your physics and biology, you study some of that in biology too, and chemistry, and yeah, it's all universal law, not rules, but math, physics, sacred geometry. So the universe can't just look down and say, oh, let's pluck this and move it that way. It's all based upon our opening up to our heart spaces and plugging ourselves in to the right vibrational frequency. We are sovereign over it. The universe doesn't get to do that. We have to ask, we have to be in touch with our higher dimensional selves for them to do and help us. Because we are sovereign over this. So it's imperative that we all understand it and that we understand our importance. Every one of us is just as important. Now, I've been teaching about the fact that there are some dysfunctional energies, just like I just talked about people who want us to stay in dense energies. There are some dysfunctional energies too, that for various reasons, they're difficult energies. For the most part, most people want to do the right thing. And if they're not doing, if they're treating you unfairly or whatever, it's because they're at a level of consciousness where they're not communicating with you well. There's your energies are non-resonant, and so try as you may, you're just until they get into that vibrational conscious, to that level of awareness, until they start understanding what you're saying. But that doesn't make them lesser than you or bad. Matter of fact, they can be quite transcendent in many things. They can understand a great deal of this, but if they're off in enough things from you, different from you in enough things, the energy still isn't going to match. Then we can do communication and bridge that. We create the relationship container, the dimension of the relationship, to have the energetic discussion about the fact that our energies are not resonating together. Is there something we can do about that? And when we manage relationships that way, all relationships, we go from, well, here's me and here's you. So there's either two energies here working on this, or we're a couple and we're so tangled up together, there's only one energy, and we're struggling as one because we're different and yet we're like this. Or you can be exponential and you can form that third container, which is the relationship. And it takes on a life of its own. It's the third person. And the two of you put in, this is what you can expect of me. This is what you can expect of me. And you work the energy management of it. And then you've got three energies going. This works at work. This works with your family. This works with your friends. This works with your loved one. And instead of the two of you like this, or the two of you like this, it's exponential. It's exponential. And everything functions like this in the universe because everything is relative. We are always in relationship. So this is how we handle all relationships. We don't hand anyone a list of expectations. They hand us what to expect of them. We don't play roles assigned to us or described to us or written for us, dictated to us by society. We agree to take on a role and say, this is how we'll show up in that role. Not every husband is supposed to look like what society says. Not every wife is supposed to. It's however they, in their relationship container, agree that they're each going to show up and that's going to work for them. And now they're exponentially strong. And this one can help that one shine, and that one can help this one shine, and their relationship shines, and everything's better in their life. That's how relationships work, too. I know that was a lot. I know it's going to be like right at an hour and a half. Thank you all for listening. If you have any questions about why things are shifting really fast, my energy seems to be like chaotic. And one minute I feel like I'm supposed to do this. The next minute I'm sure I'm being led to do that. And I don't understand. Well, this is why. Be open to possibility. Make your plans. Do what it is you know to do. But say, listen to your heart's desires, because you're supposed to get those. Tune up. Be part of the symphony. Yeah. But tell the universe this or better. so they can guide you. And yeah, you may have to do some zigging and zagging. This is a time of creative solutions, folks. This is a time not to escape, but to go within and seek the creative solution to expand. This is true freedom. Expansion is freedom. Don't escape, expand. That's what exponentiality of relationships does. You go from being one or two or one to three. And you can do this with every relationship. It's a time not to escape. It's not a time to go within and escape. It is a time to go within. Find your heart's desire. Do the energy work, the energy management, so you live it in great big capital letters. And you doing that, it's going to help the next person do it, and the next person do it, and the next person do it. And then the whole human collective is doing it, and the cosmos was a beautiful symphony. Just live in great big capital letters. And you are needed to do that. Be expansive. Great big capital letters. As long as you're breathing.